So, we often talk about the presumptuousness of the leadership and rulership of the current times, and they got access to mental, spiritual, psychosocial intelligences. The original intelligence technology was financing, certain kinds of financing, how to move money, how to create financial vehicles and stuff. And it was really only meant for certain kinds of times and certain kinds of authorities and needs, and they were financial technologies exhumed from the previous past. And they were put to death, they were put to bed, sorry. Those financial pasts, those financial fictions. And a lot of those things have been brought to life in the last 100 and 200 years. Realistically, the world in the last few hundred years has broken out. They've gotten access to technology they were never supposed to have access to. Bottom line, the world has developed and broken out in every direction. And we can see a silo of certain kinds of, ooh, you like that fart? A silo of certain kinds of information that are continuing. People are not supposed to be getting above the ground, floating stuff in the sky, trying to be omnipotent, see all the things that are constantly happening. No one needs that shit. It's extra. They're trying to be like Alahayim. They're trying to be like the gods. That's what the spirito-demonic technology does. Gives you the understanding of the elements, the understanding of times, understanding of things. And they go forth and take this stuff, and what do? They corral resources, corral authority, and they seek to each way get an opportunity to rule the earth in their section. Way back when, there was one leading group. The world was under them. The world kind of served them, right? We need to go back to that. And it's not going to be China, because China does not know how to be solvent. No communist government has ever figured out how to be solvent. They're a breakaway government that always fails. It's due to fail. It's like it's post-industrialization financial theft. They stole from an imperialist society, cooed and overthrew them, changed their banner, and now they don't owe any of the debt or financing to the rest of the world. It happened over and over. That's going to go away. The thing that's going away is everybody having self-determination. You're going to be under some major authority, and they're going to make the world be solvent. Not everybody to have their little puddle of Japan 200, 300% debt. It's irresponsible to have that kind of stuff. And then be right next to China with that, and then right next to Russia, they all have cohabited economies, and they're not freaking out on each other because one has got more debt than the other. The reality is that is a queered game. No one's supposed to have that much debt. That's irresponsible. 100% GDP debt, that's irresponsible. But I can track some of that stuff to the industrialization of Taiwan and China and places that are making things for us that we don't get as much out of anymore, right? That Alahayim powered society, you got to actually power and understanding from things that are not human, right? And you got the power, industry, financing. No one gets anything out of the space industry. It's a fucking fink. It's a straight theft and propriety technology that allows them to get above us, right? And get access to stuff. They can get access to internet and all sorts of weird things. It's not a good technology, guys. It's just like AI. It's just above you. They get access to stuff and features to the reality that they shouldn't, right? Because they have more money for some reason. But they're not at the government, right? But they're a company that gets to do that. So we're letting entities, dead entities, get access to things that are above us or between us and the government. That's never supposed to be a thing, guys. That's what's getting crashed. The dead ruling over us is the number one thing getting crashed. Governments are supposed to be over us. Ruling authorities are supposed to be over us. What's not is tech industries. What's not is businesses. What's not is corporations. That's going to be destroyed. That's what I see coming. The next big death in the world is going to be to the corporations and the things that don't serve humanity. Governments, they serve humanity. Corporations don't. They do a bunch of financing and fucking research off the money they finance, but don't really always make a product. So basically, they get access to a lot more money than they need to make something that benefits people. They're only supposed to get financing to stuff that they're turning into things that we consume. But they don't do that. They do more than that, and we know that. There's people who get big-ass wages and all this shit. There shouldn't be huge wages because that's a problem also, because they were financed. It's fake money. They should have never gotten it, right? Bottom line, if there's huge profits, we should talk about it because America financed the fucking money. So the profits are whose? Who financed who? Then where do the profits go? Then the dividends ought to go to all Americans. But it's some bullshit. It's just investors somehow. But the investors are investing with the monetary pool from America, though. But we're not getting a cut. Just the board and the fucking execs. That doesn't make a sense. They're speculating in our money pool and taking out of our money pool and not putting into it. They're speculating against us with our own money, guys. And that's what's been going on forever. That occupation, the next big thing, the Allah Hayam's big move is to break that. Because no one wants to see that. Allah Hayam don't want to see, the gods don't want to see you showing up to a job, showing up and then pressing buttons and getting nothing fucking done. Nothing happens when you press a button, goddammit. No one gets a value out of watching the screen do different things and populating sheets. Unless that shit goes to logistical moves on a software that translates into people moving or things changing hands or actual operations, then it's fictions. Should it be that we spend that money on marketing? That's post-consumerism. That's consumers don't need it enough. Now we got to get them re-enthused. Over marketing. The marketing industry was an indication that huge paid-for marketing is you financed on advertising. And then overpriced products. That's all that keeps happening. They keep kicking the can down the road. It's everywhere. That's what's getting crashed. China might be slaves, guys, because they were really fucking up on the Allah Hayam level. Let me just tell you that. They might have to be slaves in their own land. We may not be able to bring them to America. But it's looking like they're going to have a bunch of countries break them up and be over them. Along with Japan. 200%, 300% GDP, come on. It's irresponsible. And then parting people out for all sorts of... No. They need to be under somebody's authority. Those commies, they don't know what to fucking do. Every commie society, including Canada, is going to fucking fail. We're going to have to pick up the pieces of Canada, and we're going to have to part out China with Russia and whoever else. That's what I think is coming next later. Later, beloved.